Hello all, welcome to my channel. I'm excited to present a concept today relating to how users and group permissions are handled in Adobe AEM as a cloud service. In order to do this, the prerequisite is you need to have an account with Adobe AEM as a cloud service with the access to the Adobe Admin Console, through which you will actually create your first step, which is having an IMS user group or IMS users created and as well as IMS groups created. Now, IMS is Identity Management Service provided by default by Adobe for accessing or managing the identity in the cloud. Now, this IMS user groups is not specific to a particular AEM product within the Experience Cloud. It is applicable for the multiple number of products Adobe has provided to that account. In this, you will also have access to different products. Like for example, you have Adobe Target, you have Adobe Launch, you have probably AEM as a cloud service as well. And all these come under one cloud umbrella. Now, each of these products have something called profiles, where like in the case of AEM as a cloud service, let's take the author instance as an example. In that, you will actually have two different profiles created by default by virtue of giving you the provisioning of that service. Now, in that, you have an admin profile and normal user profile. So admin is someone who has more access to control different aspects of the instance, and users is general access that is required just to go through the product after logging in. So what we should now do is, since you've created the IMS user and you added that person or user to a group, which is again an IMS group, you need to now make sure that IMS group is added to a particular profile. Like in the case of AEM instance, you can just make sure that it's added to the users group so that they can get a link and try to log in and gain access. So that they won't have super access, they just have the minimum set of permissions in order to actually have navigation permissions across the product like author. Now, as shown in the diagram, you have done this, you have identified the product, you have also associated this group to a profile, and then once you log into the product or the instance you have given access, the sync automatically happens with a time of around 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, the moment you log in, you get access, and based on the profiling you have done, that profile and the group all will get synced within that AEM instance. Now, within AEM instance, there are out-of-the-box groups like authors, DAM users who are like given out of the box. Most of the cases, you might end up having customizations on top of those out of the box groups. For example, authors. In your project, you would probably need to provide access to maybe different paths or maybe have custom permissions on top of the default groups, like giving access to an additional path or maybe something very specific to your project need. So it is not recommended to add these groups directly to the default groups, but rather create a custom group and add that group as part of the default AEM group. Now, this group will have all the permissions which the default group has, but in addition to that, you have the leverage to actually customize on top of the default permissions. So now whatever groups got synced, you can add that group to this particular custom group you have created, so that whenever you add some other new user, all you have to do is you just have them added to this group, and that's it. Based on the bridge connection you have connected here, it comes and syncs with the different products based on the profile you added, and that gets added to the custom AEM group so that the